Well, now to the rising tensions between the U.S. and Iran. The Pentagon says an American fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone after it was aggressively approaching a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. Just hours later, U.S. military officials say 2 Iranian gunboats approached a U.S. crewed merchant ship in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says the scheduled talks between Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner with Iran's foreign minister about the country's nuclear program will continue. Senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez and retired Colonel Steve Gagnier join us now for more. So, Louis, let's start with you. What more do we know about what happened yesterday?
Perry, what we do know is that these were 2 highly provocative incidents that both occurred just within hours of each other. And these are situations that, though they may have occurred in the past, have not occurred recently. As we talk about the high tensions between the United States and Iran over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the possibility of U.S. military action against Iran, initially because of the whole situation with those large protests and the Iranian government's crackdown against those protests. And then weeks later, the dialogue shifted more towards, let's get talking about Iran's nuclear program. We remember that back last summer when the United States participated in airstrikes targeting some of Iran's nuclear programs. The administration was saying that their program had been obliterated, but now they want to move forward again to see if they can fully reduce Iran's nuclear capability. But again, 2 highly provocative incidents happening on the same day. And so far, there are no indications that there have been any subsequent incidents involving the U.S. Navy and Iranian forces.
So, Steve, how does this affect the U.S.'s nuclear discussions with Iran?
That's a good question, Perry, because you would think that if, on one hand, the leadership in Tehran is saying, we're ready to talk, and the other hand, the IRGC is sending drones out to the aircraft carrier in a very provocative way, as Louis noted. So we'll see how things go. We had Secretary Rubio today in a press conference say, look, we're going to try to make a deal. We don't know if we can make a deal with these guys, but we're going to talk. They're willing to talk. And some of the rhetoric we're hearing out of Tehran has been actually fairly positive, talking about constraining their nuclear weapons program. So on one hand, we can be hopeful. On the other hand, we need to understand that this is the sort of delay game that the Iranians have been playing for years, that they learned very well from their friends in North Korea. And so all of this is a bit of a lead up to the real discussions that need to happen. So the U.S. is moving more military force into the region to try to ramp up pressure on the regime. And you have, on the other hand, the regime trying to tone it down, saying, nope, don't attack us. We're ready to have a discussion. So we're going into the real negotiations here as both sides are trying to put the pressure on the other to concede what they may not want to originally concede.
Retired Colonel Steve Gagnier and Louis Martinez, thank you.